So thank you again, all of you, for joining us. I really appreciate it. My name is Dr. Chudley Wirch, and I'm CEO and founder of Prevention Plus Wellness, located here in beautiful St. Augustine, Florida. Thank you for logging in wherever you're at. I really appreciate it because I know this time of year is busy. People are ending the semester. If you're in in the school system, or you're getting ready to, or you're on vacation or whatever. So there's a lot of transition taking place. So the fact that we have people on is I'm very grateful for that. And God bless you all. Thank you for what you do for youth and families and communities in your area to promote their well-being and to prevent substance misuse among particularly youth, but also adults. So I'm recording this. We don't have slides that I'll be sending you, but I am recording it. So I'll send you a link so that you can review this if you want, or share this with your colleagues or anybody else in your region or state. And I'll send you a certificate as well for 1 hour CEU for those of you that are on live with me. And that's what you'll be getting. So the focus today is on implementing, the title's on implementing the SBIRT and other PPW, that's Prevention Plus Wellness, one session programs. So I'll give you an overview of the programs and how they work, and we'll look at the scripts and see exactly how you implement them, how you evaluate them, what are the options. So we'll cover all that very briefly so you have a good understanding of everything. To start out, let me post a poll for you. It's just a very brief, I think, 3 or 4 item poll. And let's see if we can get some feedback from everybody. Let me see if I can pull it up. So let's see, this is the poll. Here it is. I'm launching it right now. It'll take a moment to get to you, and you'll need to scroll down to answer all the items as soon as you see this. Just 4 questions. It shouldn't take very long. And the more of you that answer, I think the more we'll get a good understanding of what you're thinking of and what you might want me to emphasize during this 1 hour webinar with us. So go ahead, answer those 4 questions, scroll down, and take a moment. Most of them are very easy. The last one is open-ended, so you can go ahead and type in some things. I've not done that before, so we'll take a look and see how that works for us. The first 3 items, you just pick 1 or more responses. All right, so just give you a minute or 2 to do that, and I really appreciate that, and it's really important for everybody to participate so we get your your thoughts on this. So this is your hour, your time. By the way, related to that, feel free to go to the Q&A at any time and drop in your questions, your comments, and at the end of today's session, I'll go to that and we'll take a look at that together, and I'll be happy to answer anything that you place in that Q&A in the order that it's in. So you've got the Q&A, you can use that. We're doing the poll right now. At this point, let me see here what we've got for polling. Looking for responses. I'm trying to get a sense of, okay, so we've got 64% responding thus far. So if we can get that up to 70-75%, that would really be good. It'd be great to have the majority of you respond. Now, I know some of you don't have access to this. You may be just listening, so that certainly accounts for the response rate. So just another 1 minute left, so it gives you a chance. We're already up to 68% completing, so almost there, almost up to that 7 out of 10. If we can get that, I think, there you go. We're already over that, 72%. Thank you so much. And so just another 30, we got 74%, so we're almost there, almost at 75%, which is 3 out of 4, and now it's still at 75%. Yay, we've achieved it. We've reached the goal. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. So in another 15 seconds, I'll shut it off, and then I'll send you the results and we'll look at them together. 3 out of 4 of you have responded. You're amazing. Thank you so very much for doing that. And let me send you the results right now. I sent the results. They should be getting to you in just a moment. Sometimes it takes a little while to get across the Ethernet. But the first question was, I'll go through this with you. Have you ever implemented, or do you plan to implement, a Prevention Plus Wellness program? And the majority of you said yes. But there's also a good percentage of you that said you're not sure. So I'm sure this is part of it. So you want to see, learn a little bit more about that. So that's what we're doing today. So you'll get a good understanding of how the Prevention Plus Wellness programs work, including the sport program, sport alcohol and drug prevention plus wellness program, and all the variations thereof. Question 2, what age groups do you mostly work with? We have middle school, followed by high school and elementary school. So middle school, most of you. Third question is, what substances do you wish to prevent the most? What substances do you prevent the most? Marijuana is listed, but I mean, a good number of you also said e-cigarettes, and after that, and alcohol and opioids are all very important, without a doubt. And then lastly, what do you want from Prevention Plus Wellness or this particular webinar? So this one, I don't know. Let me see if I could access those responses. I've never done this before, to have an open-ended question. Oh, this is really nice. I don't know. Let me, are you seeing the charts? This is really very cool. I don't know if you're seeing these charts, or I need to share them with you, but let me just go ahead. What do you want? I'm just going to read them for you. Your responses to number 4. What do you want from PBW or the webinar the most? Ideas for allowing adaptations, for facilitating group programming. So let me just, I think these are great because these will let me answer right off the bat. You have great flexibility with your sport and other PPW programs. You can implement it one-on-one to a youth. There's a script in your manual to read it to youth one-on-one. This could be a regular, general youth population, or could be a youth caught using on campus in your setting, your school setting. So it could be high-risk youth or general population youth, but you can use the script to one-on-one script to present it to youth one-on-one. It's very tailored, personalized. I think a very powerful approach. The other script in your manual is to present it in an existing classroom or group of some sort. So that's very practical and cost effective. And you could also tailor your Prevention Plus Wellness program. You could switch out images. If the images in your Prevention Plus Wellness slides that you present during your presentation aren't representative of your population, you could switch out slides. You can add a little extra content. We do support tailoring your program, and you can put your logo. You can co-brand your slides by putting your logo, your colors on the first slide. No problems. We're happy to work with you, and you have that flexibility. Others of you, let's see, interactive activities for youth. So let me respond to that. So this is highly customized to the youth. So first of all, youth complete a screening survey. That's about their health habits or thinking. They're reflecting in their health habits. And then you provide feedback on those health behaviors. Throughout that feedback process, you're asking them questions to reflect on their health habits. They're interacting by completing a screening survey. They're interacting by thinking about and responding about the health habits in relation to their lifestyle. And then lastly, they complete a goal plan completely personalized depending upon what they want to achieve and improving themselves in the future, their health behaviors, their desired images, the values in their life. Definitely interactive prevention plus wellness programs. Let's see, quick evidence-based intervention for adolescents. Most of our programs are a single session, 45 minutes, so you can get into busy settings. You can get into schools that don't have time to allow a multi-session prevention program. And these programs are very positive. Prevention plus wellness programs promote physical activity and sports, breakfast and nutrition, sleep, and stress control. So they are designed to promote mental health and prevent substance use within that 45-minute interactive, positive future desired image lesson. Let me see here. I'm just going through the information on vaping. I'll talk about vaping. We do have a vaping program that's our e-cigarette program. We've got a middle school, high school, and elementary school version of that. And so that version of the program, vaping, we'll talk about how e-cigarettes interferes with physical activity, with nutrition, with sleep, with being relaxed, and also just extra content about vaping, vaping myths, healthy alternatives to vaping, social norm comment, messaging about how most youth do not vape e-cigarettes. So all of that is in your vaping prevention plus wellness program, which you can present in a group setting or individually to all youth and to those caught using on campus. Very positive, very practical. It's one session, but if you have access to the kids for multiple sessions, then what you can do is for the following sessions, you can just do additional goal setting every week, a weekly goal setting. How did your first week of goal setting go? What worked, what didn't work? Let's set more goals. And the goals are to avoid, in this case, e-cigarette use and to improve their one or more healthy behaviors, getting them to achieve ultimately 8 or more hours of sleep, breakfast every morning, plenty of fruits and vegetables daily, 1 hour of physical activity and a daily relaxation technique. All of that, plenty to work on for youth across multiple weeks of goal setting. The more you set goals, the more likely that they'll develop self-regulation skills and self-efficacy. Lots of good comments to this last question. Quick evidence-based intervention. I responded to that. Gain more knowledge, share with students. Yes, you'll have that today. Learn more about what sport PPW programs are. Definitely will show you the scripts. Share evidence-based information. Okay, very good. Great information, more knowledge, effective implementation strategies for the program to make it fun, exciting. So the beauty of PPW programs is that they're scripted. So you literally practice the scripts and then you just pull it up. You can adapt the scripts, you read it, you show your slides so that the kids see representations of themselves, see the keyword, cue those desired future images of themselves to be fit, active, healthy, successful. If they engage in the health behaviors and avoid the substance use, whether that's alcohol or opioids or e-cigarettes or marijuana, depending on which version of the prevention plus wellness program you get, and that's the strategy. So the scripting allows, it enhances the probability of implementation fidelity across time, across implement, or across setting, and yet it's flexible as well. I want to gain knowledge about skills, so ideas that I can implement the program, all of these things and more. There's a lot of great responses to this we'll be addressing today. So I don't want to spend any more time with this because we need to get to the content. I want to show you exactly what we've got. So thank you for answering the polling questions, for giving us that information. And now let me go back and pull up the slide here. Let's see here. I got it. Results. I'm trying to get out of this. I want to make sure you're able to see what I'm saying. Let me stop share. All right, and now let me pull up the share one more time. And I'm pulling up the manual. So we're going to start with the SBIRT high school manual. SBIRT alcohol and drug addresses alcohol primarily, although there's other mentions of other substances. And of course, the goal plan at the end says avoid alcohol, but also e-cigarettes and marijuana and opioids, etc. But the content usually, it primarily is how alcohol interferes with physical activity, nutrition, sleep, stress, and achieving your desired, positive images of yourself, being more productive, healthy, successful, etc. in the future. And that's what sport is. And then what we have are adaptations of sport. So the vaping PPW program, Prevention Plus Wellness program, is we took sport, took out the alcohol messages, put in the vaping messages. Same with the marijuana program, same with the opioid program. We even have a version of sport called Sport, Alcohol, and Cannabis. Now that version, which we have a high school, middle school versions for, addresses both alcohol and cannabis within that 45-minute lesson. So lots of options for these youth programs. Again, we've got programs for elementary school, middle school, high school, young adults, and adults. By the way, we also have parent training programs and media campaigns, all the same model, multi-health behavior, integrated, promoting those protective health habits that promote mental health and help prevent substance use. So let's take a look at how does this thing work. You can order your manual. It could be a physical manual, the actual printed manual, which we ship to you, or a digital manual if you buy a license. So if you bought a physical manual, you'll get this manual itself, a binded manual, and you'll get a digital download of your slides that you showed during your presentation and all of your reproducible materials. So it's a one purchase. You don't need to come back and keep buying stuff from us like student materials, for example. You make copies and you can present it to any number. We have online self-paced training for those of you that want to get a certificate and learn how to make the best of the program. And that takes only an hour or two, very brief. And you can take the training, online self-paced training anytime, day or night, weekends, whatever. So this is the sport, alcohol, and drug program. This is the high school version. Here's your table of contents. You can see you've got a lot here. You've got the individual script. This is what you would read if you present this to youth one-on-one in a private setting, talking about that individual's private health habits. They need to have, you need to protect their confidentiality, and or section for the group script if you present it in a group setting. You can also see we've got evaluation materials, including built-in pre-post surveys. So you can actually assess how your program is working for your youth and how well you're presenting it to them. Great feedback, quantitative data, qualitative data, and yet very brief. And we can also send you a customized link or QR code to the pre and the post test. How does that work? You show the pre-test link to the kids before the lesson if they have a Chromebook or a phone. You send them the link, they open it up, takes 6 minutes to do the pre-test. You launch your lesson, you complete the lesson with the goal setting, and then if you could come back to that youth or group of youth, if you can come back a month or so later, that would be ideal for providing the post-test. If you cannot come back right after the lesson, do the post-test. So if you do the post-test immediately after the lesson, within that period, that same period, you'll be able to see change on risk and protective factors. If you could come back and implement the post-test 1 month or later, then you'll also be able to see outcomes on 30-day substance use and 30-day health behavior change. So you can come back 2 months later, 3 months later, 6 months, 12 months, or multiple times if you want. So we're always here, by the way, to answer any questions and to support you with your evaluation of your program. In either case, you're going to be able to see how well your program is working. You'll be able to have positive feedback from your students on the program, and you'll be able to make changes to improve your program over time. Section 5 has a screening, survey, and goal plan, because all of our programs for implementation to youth and young adults are screening and brief interventions. They are evidence-based practice. In fact, more recently, we've added an additional validated screener to our program. So if you do present them to youth one-on-one, you can use a validated screener. For youth, we use the CRAFT, and you could implement it as an SBIRT, screening, brief intervention, and referral to treatment. I'll talk to you more about that in a minute. We've got an online follow-up, and for the sport programs, we even have additional parent flyers, a series of 4 parent flyers, which you could send out. You could post, you can, on your website, you can email out anything you want, so you can get parents a little bit involved. So let's take a look at the script. Let's start with the group script. Let me see if I could find that. I'm going to go down to find the group script, and I'm going to walk you through it so you can actually see the script, see the slides. Let's see here. There we go. So here it is, section 4. This is the group script. So again, at any time, if you have questions, if you have comments, if something doesn't make sense, you can go to the Q&A, click on it, and drop in that information, and we'll take a look at that at the end of the period here. So when I say this lesson is scripted, this 45-minute motivational intervention is scripted, that is it. That's exactly what I mean. So what you have here is, you can see, this is the high school version. We have middle school, elementary school versions, young adult versions for different programs, different topics, etc. So here you can see introduction, and you can see this information is bracketed. That means it's content for you as the facilitator or the implementer or the teacher or the coach or the nurse or the counselor or whatever, whoever might be. We even have youth presenting this lesson to their same age or younger age peers, usually in a classroom setting. But so this is the script, and it's just reminding you, if you're going to do a pretest, do it now. So there's directions for you, reminders for you. So once you get your manual, again, if you have a physical manual, you can buy it separately, individually. You'll get a digital download of your slides. If you buy a license, then you'll have access to the manual digitally. You'll be able to pull up the manual on a PDF and read it. And what you want to do is, hopefully, you'll take the self-paced training. By the way, we can do a group training online live. We can do the training in person to a group as well in a day or less. So I'm very practical training, because the materials are scripted. So we don't need to have, and it's just a session, so we don't need to have, days of training. So you have your introduction. There's a description, says show the slide. There's your slides for prevention plus wellness. Again, you could co-brand this. You could put your organization's label on that if you want. Let's say that the images here, which we try to show different ethnicities, different positive activities, etc. Let's say you're dealing with a unique population. Maybe they're all one ethnicity. Then maybe to represent them more, you want to take this slide out and put a different image in. Not a problem. We just recommend you send any altered slides to us for review. We can give you feedback and see what you're doing. So Customization is not a problem. And there's the script. So here's literally what you read. You practice your script. Hello, for the next several minutes, I'll be talking with you about the Sport Prevention Plus Wellness Program. Now, Sport PPW is an exciting fitness and health program. And together, what we're going to be doing is looking at habits that can make you look better, feel better, and improve your performance in physical activities, school, and relationships. Very brief. If you want to expand the introduction, get to know people a little bit more. If you don't know them in the classroom, you can do that. Whatever you do to alter this, the script, when you practice it, just watch how long it takes and make sure you're able to get your presentation within the time frame that you have allotted for you. So let's say you're going into a classroom, you're presenting this into a health education class or PE or social studies or after school, you got 50 minutes. So you want to practice your script and make sure you can implement it within a 50-minute period, and you have that practice and you feel comfortable doing that. So, got hands raised. Just drop in your questions in the Q&A, guys. I would appreciate it. So, screening survey is the first part of this three-part intervention: screening, feedback, goal setting. So screening is designed to get youth to think about their health habits. So there's some directions there about the screening right there. And then here's the script. You're going to now take out your screening survey. You'll have made a copy from your digital download. You'll have handed it out to your group in advance to save some time. Even the slide here will show you, remind you and the students what's going on, complete the health and fitness screen. It's just like 6 items. So do you usually get 8 or more hours of sleep? Do you eat a breakfast most mornings? Have you used alcohol? So those are the questions. It gets them, the youth, to reflect on their health habits. Now, we have additional scripts and materials in our programs for adolescents and for young adults that include a validated substance use screener. For the youth, as I said before, it's the CRAFT, C-R-A-F-F-T. I think it's 7 items, C-R-A-F-F-T. It's 6 items, and so it assesses their level of substance use risk. And so if you implement this to youth one-on-one, not this group script, but the other one, which we'll be showing, the individual script, you could show that you can have them complete the validated screener, assess their risk. If they score 2 or more yeses, that means they're higher risk. And then at the end of the lesson, those individuals can be referred for additional assessment or for counseling or for treatment, whatever you want. So we have built in, when you implement this one-on-one, if you want to, you can just use the regular screener, or you can use the regular screener, which is designed to get them thinking about their health habits, and the validated screener, so you can also assess level of substance use risk. So you have that great flexibility to implement your program as an SBIRT, which means you identify high-risk users and you refer those for additional assessment or counseling or treatment. Let me know if that makes sense to you, if you have any questions. So you do the screening survey. It takes just a couple minutes, and then you start providing your feedback. Here it is. You show this slide. This is sort of a reminder. So what you're going to do is you're going to restate the screening survey question, the first one, and then you're going to provide feedback. You can see the screening survey question was, what sports physical activities did you play in the last year? You're going to ask them to raise their hands in the group and go down the list. How many of you played baseball or softball? You didn't have to be on a team. You threw a baseball or softball. Raise your hands. Who played basketball or shot a basketball or dribbled a basketball in the last year? Raise your hands. So you'll have everybody raising their hands, and you'll see there's a lot of physical activity and movement going on. You could even add additional things. Who did some chores? Who excuse me, who washed dishes? Who mowed the yard? Who cleaned the house? Who worked for somebody outside the home? who did some other kinds of movement, not on the list. And so that you'll be highlighting the positive norm. My peers are physically active. And then this two-part messaging is going to start with feedback messaging. The first part, number one, benefits of the health behavior. And again, the question is sports physical activities in the last year. You show this slide. Good for you. Sports physical activity is a great way to get regular exercise. They're fun. They help you look fit and strong. Those are image terms designed to cue an unconscious image in their mind, which is very desirable. Feel good about yourself, give you lots of energy, help you do better in school. So these are all benefits of the physical activity. They're all benefits, and that's what you're highlighting. Benefits of this particular physical activity, of this particular behavior. And then secondly, here comes the linkage. Now, here's how you're going to link alcohol or e-cigarettes or opioids or marijuana, depending on which PPW program you're using, to that health behavior as being counterproductive and harmful. So how you show the slide, active life and alcohol don't mix, however, in active life, alcohol do not mix. Using alcohol, particularly too much alcohol, can hurt your performance in sports, physical activities, school. It can also have a negative impact on your health, your relationships with friends and family. So very simple, direct, integrative messaging. And then you'll do the same with the other items on the screening survey. Regular physical activity. The high school version has a question on physical activity norms. Then you'll go on to breakfast and nutrition, benefits of breakfast and nutrition, eating healthy, and how alcohol, particularly and other substances, interfere with and harms healthy nutritional uptake. Same with sleep. Benefits of sleep, how alcohol and drug use interferes with sleep. And then you'll get to the additional substance use messaging. So again, sport addresses alcohol. The marijuana PPW program obviously will address cannabis, etc. But here's where you provide a little bit more extra content. Alcohol can harm fitness and health. Notice, by the way, the discussion questions that I mentioned earlier, the reflection questions. What other types of problems people your age could have with drinking alcohol? What types of physical activity do you like to do or would you like to try? What types of healthy foods do you like to eat or would you like to try? Again, always getting them to stop, to think about their own lifestyle. Reflection is essential to behavioral change. And then you can, if you have time in your presentation, you can ask for some of the group members to respond. Alcohol can cause life problems, very important. Alcohol myths. Most youth do not use alcohol, the social norm messaging, as well as choose for yourself, plan ahead now, make a decision now about using alcohol, not using alcohol, and then recommendations for increasing your wellness, which includes not just avoiding alcohol and other substances, but 8 or more hours of sleep, healthy breakfast and plenty of fruits and vegetables, regular daily physical activity. So that's the feedback. And then, so it's screening, it's feedback. And then the third part is the goal setting, the goal plan. And so there's the slide to remind you and your students, goal plan is set up. And so here's some examples. So here in the brackets, we're giving you some directions and saying, here's a good time to give some examples of a good concrete goal for youth. You want it to be measurable, you want it to be specific, you want it to be achievable, and you want it to, be linked to the desired image that they want. So maybe 15 more minutes of physical activity every day of the week. Or maybe one more, maybe 20 more minutes of sleep Monday through Friday during the school week, or maybe one extra piece of fruit or vegetable a day, every day of the week. Very specific, concrete things that you can give them an example for their goals. And they set their goals, you work with them, and then either collect the post-test at this point, or ideally come back to the group if you can and collect the post-test 1 or more months afterwards. That's the script. It's as simple as that. Very intuitive, very positive, easily laid out, coordinated with the slides. And all you have to do is practice the script. And if you can, definitely take an online self-paced training. If you implement this to one youth, it could be a youth you pull out of class, it could be a youth caught using using substance use on your school and your campus, then you can present this to youth one-on-one. The advantage of the one-on-one script is it's tailored to how they responded to the screening survey questions. So it's a little bit more customizing, tailoring interventions has been shown to increase their efficacy. So if you can implement this one-on-one, do it. If you can and you need to be more efficient, you can use the group script. So again, same slides, the content is quite similar, but notice the difference here. So for example, when you start giving the feedback to this one youth, they're going to say, yes, they got a physical activity in the last year. No, they didn't. If they said yes, there's the yes response. It's highlighted in green, good go, positive behavior. And you're going to recognize their status, their behavioral status. Oh, I see that you participated in dribbling a basketball and walking and riding a bike. Good for you. Sports physical activity is a great way to get regular exercise. So you're just recognizing where they're at. If they didn't get physical activity last year, by the way, I can't imagine anybody not having moved their body a whole year, but you'd read the no response. No is highlighted in red and high risk. And here's how it is. I see you may not be playing sports, or particularly in any physical activity. You can really improve your health and how well you feel by getting just a little bit of physical activity. So notice the feedback is either positive, good for you, congratulations, or it's neutral. It looks like you're not eating breakfast, you're not sleeping, and you can really improve your health and performance by engaging in those behaviors or starting to engage in those behaviors. So that's the difference. That's the difference with the individual one-on-one script versus this group script. You could present it to individuals in the morning, the groups in the afternoon, different setting, great flexibility. And I will say you could also implement this to youth virtually, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. So that's the scripts, the individual script, the group script. The actual screening survey for the Sport High School program is, as I said, very brief, 6-7 items. Let's take a peek at it, shall we? So here's the screening survey, physical activity in the last year, regular physical activity, social norms. You usually eat a healthy breakfast, which includes this. Do you usually get 8 or more hours of sleep? In the past 30 days, what's the greatest number of alcohol drinks? Now, this is a high school version. The middle school version is a little different. We don't assume that they may have used alcohol. We ask sort of a staging question. And that's the screening survey. And then the goal plan, there's the recommendations for wellness, all the health behaviors we highly recommend. By the way, keep in mind, being fit doesn't mean being perfect. Your goal should be to have a healthy body image and not engage in unhealthy behaviors. So choose to avoid alcohol and drug use every day for the next 7 days and increase one health habit. So you're going to identify that habit, the amount, how frequent, and the signing off is ideal. Now, I know this could be a little challenge in a group, but if you can sign it and they can sign it, that makes it a contract, and that increases motivational force. So they can sign it, you can sign it, or the more they share their goals with others, family members, friends, the more likely they bought in, and that increases motivation. There's even a 7-day a calendar log here so they can track their behavior. So they're going to post this and they can track their achievement. And then there's some very important recommendations and congratulations and feedback. And that's the goal setting. Very, very solid goal setting experience. And then here's the pretest. You've got, again, a built-in pretest, a post-test. If you use the paper version, we could send you links to the online survey and you could hand enter the data so you have it in SurveyMonkey, or better yet, you can request us to send you a customized pretest and post-test link and just show that to your youth and let them click on it and enter the data themselves. Much more efficient and more likely to have better data if they complete it online. We also have, in addition to the pre-post survey, we also have an instructor survey for you to assess how well you implemented your program each time you present your program, and a fidelity checklist. So lots of good evaluation materials. All right, let me also show you, stop here, that I mentioned that you can implement your program I mentioned that you could implement your program virtually. So let me show you how. Not too many people are doing that now. They're happy to implement these things in person. I understand that completely. But let's say you needed to reach out and present it virtually. You needed to. Here's how you do it. You just have your slides up. And of course, you have your youth, individual or group, online. And it could be any platform. It could be Zoom. It could be Microsoft Teams, whatever. But you're presenting. You're reading the script to them. You're showing them the slides. And you're doing it live. Now, how can you do this to youth virtually? How do they complete the screening survey, for example? Well, there's a slide here, this one here, which allows you, and it's mentioned, virtual screening survey. There's the link. You click on that link, and that takes them to a screening survey, and you can give them a couple minutes and they can complete their own screening survey. That's how you can present this virtually. How about the goal plan? How can they do a goal plan? Because you normally would make a copy, you'd hand it to them. Well, again, the same thing. We've got a slide here for virtual goal planning. And after you present, the recommendations for wellness, here they are. Complete a goal plan. There's the virtual. They click on that, and that opens up a goal plan, and they can actually complete one individually online. And if they have a printer, they can print it out. Okay, so you have all of that. Great flexibility, great options, different programs. Let's see if anybody had any. Nobody has any Q&A questions. So now's the time. I'm going to pause at this point. So now's the time to ask questions. So go to the Q&A. I know there was a couple of hands raised earlier on during the presentation. Again, you could implement this to youth individually using the regular script or the adapted SBIRT script. That just means that in addition to the PPW screening survey, you then present the validated screener to identify who's at high risk for substance use. You present your lesson, you do your goal plan, and then you can send those high risk substance users for additional assessment or counseling or treatment in your school, in your community, whatever you might have for resources. So you can implement it as a screening and brief intervention or as an SBIRT. If you implement it one-on-one, so you have that flexibility, you can implement it in a group, you can implement it virtually. So Megan says, there are questions in the chat. Thank you, Megan. Thank you. I was going to check that. But thank you so much for bringing that up. I'm going to expand it so I might be able to read it a little bit easier. So let's see here. People just introducing themselves. let's see, did you click on polls? You could see the charts. Oh, I'm sorry if you didn't get to see them. Where we get materials, you will not, Joy, get materials, unfortunately, because we're actually showing you the programs. I tell you what, though, Joy, if you go to our website, preventionpluswellness.com, and if you put your name and email in, you'll have access to our program samples. So that's what I'd offer you, program samples. So you could, and let's say you're already registered on our website, just email me at info@preventionpluswellness.com. That's info@preventionpluswellness.com, and say you want to see samples. I'll send you the sample, the link to the sample sheet. So it gives you, all kinds of program samples to review. So that's great question, comment. How do we get the materials for the programs? Well, again, Joey, these are, well, we offered these on our website. So there's a cost to the program manuals, there's a cost to the training. If you don't have resources, we do have under our resource heading on our website, preventionpluswellness.com, we do have some free resources. So go to resources and scroll down and you'll see we do have a page for parent resources. There are links to all kinds of free content and some of our materials too that we give away for those organizations that don't have a grant or don't have funding. And so, yes, there is a cost for the materials. If you bought a manual, the manual is about $600, comes with a physical manual and the digital download. And that's for one teacher, one facilitator. They could implement that to hundreds or thousands of youth. If you want the training, it's about $250 for the online training. So you can get the Sport High School manual, comes with a digital download. You can get the training for $250 and then you're off and running, and you could present that to anywhere and any group, individually, in a group, virtually. And so that's what we offer. We have licenses. So the difference with the license and the individual program manual is the license is for a year or more. Licenses start for a year of 2000. And then you have unlimited access to the training portal. So anybody can be sent to be trained in the program, and anybody can be sent and given the link to the virtual manual, the PDF of the manual, and can copy the digital downloads to their computer. So the manuals are cost effective if you've got, a number of people that want to be trained. And again, anybody can be trained, even youth can be trained to implement this scripted program. By the way, if you want to look at our price list under youth and adult programs, if you scroll down at the bottom, there's the price list. Sorry if this sounds rude, but you should not consume any alcohol. So why do you stay? So no, you're not, Wendy, you're not being rude. You could tailor that. You could say any alcohol. I understand exactly where you're coming from. It's sort of a fine dance between the age group and the risk level that you're dealing with. If you're presenting this to youth that already used, that's the kind of a tailoring messages you want. The younger the youth, obviously, you're not going to say, heavy use. But this also balanced against the reality that what we want to do, I think, as prevention specialists, at least in my mind, is we want to prevent initiation of use, obviously, and then once for those individuals that are already using, and the reality is with alcohol and with high school students, we got 6 out of 10 already using, then you want to essentially prevent regular use, heavy use, and addiction. But we're all on the same page. I understand what you're saying, and I agree completely. Hi, Rebecca. Let's see. Sorry. Okay. And let's see here. Takeaways from the meeting. Linda says, order materials, attendees, complete the optional online. Wow, Linda, thanks for putting all that in there. That's amazing. Great. review. Great review. Thank you, thank you, thank you for doing all of that for us. Wow. I've learned a lot from that, and I need to take that and add that to any kind of a future presentation. So thank you so much for that, Linda, for doing that for all of us. Okay, and let me see if there's any other new Q&A. There's a couple new Q&A. So here's one from Crystal. On the virtual, when you're having them do the survey, are you having them click on the web for the virtual slide? So what they're doing is they're clicking on the slide, or they're cut and pasting that link and putting it in their browser, and that pulls up the screening survey and the goal plan. Does that make sense, Crystal? Let me know. Jennifer says, would you suggest this program be used for middle schools, 8th grade and only? So we've got a high school version, a middle school version, and an elementary school version. So yes, absolutely, it's great for all age groups. We have versions of our programs for young adults or college students, and as well as adults. It's great for all, because think about this, what you want individuals, all of us, to do, but particularly our young people, you want them to think about their health habits, to reflect on them. You want to motivate them to increase their healthy protective behaviors and avoid the substance using behaviors. And you want to help them learn and gain self-regulation skills and self-efficacy by setting goals to initiate that behavior change process. So you want all that. And so once you have one of our programs, you can implement that to your youth every year, if not twice a year. Every semester you can implement it. It's a great holistic motivational intervention, whole health intervention designed to improve mental and physical well-being, not limited just to substance use, but supporting substance use. Health behaviors support avoiding substance use, whether your message, no matter what your substance use prevention message is, by engaging in physical activity, nutrition, sleep, controlling stress, that all promotes mental health, and that helps them avoid and stay away from substance use. That's the model. That's the assumption. So yeah, we have, and of course the middle school version has, the images have younger kids in it. Elementary school version has the kid images in it. You want them to see positive representations of themselves. So it is definitely about, modeling. Kids have, just as better than anyone, they have access to some of the most horrendous, unhealthy images on TikTok, on YouTube, just constant bombardment of these. And so this is a little respite of that, and showing them kids engaged in the health behaviors, eating healthy, sleep, different kinds of physical activity, movement, sports, non-sports, doesn't matter. Really, really positive messaging and imaging for our kids. And we have parent training programs that do the same, train parents to provide the same positive images and goal setting at home. And we have media campaigns that do the same thing. Again, promoting the health behaviors, avoiding the risk behaviors. And our media campaigns include social media, so you or your youth can be engaged in providing that. So you can actually have your youth group launch and plan and launch your PPW media campaign. We've got a media campaign for marijuana, one for vaping, one for alcohol, one for opioids. Awesomeness. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer, for that new word, awesomeness. I love it. Let's see if there's any other comments on chat. I don't see any. So that's it. Go to our website, preventionpluswellness.com. Drop in your name and email so you can see our samples of our programs. Let me know if you need anything else. Again, thank you so much for what you do for youth and families in your communities. If we can help in any way, let us know. You will be hearing back from me. I'll be sending you a link to this recorded session, as well as a certificate for 1 hour CEU. I see there's one more chat comment. A thank you from Ellery. Thank you all. God bless. Take care. Have a great day. And hopefully we'll be connecting sometime in the future. Bye-bye, everyone.